Have you ever wondered if what you perceive as reality might be a grand illusion? Welcome to a journey that will challenge our everyday understanding of the world. Today we're exploring the fascinating realm of perceptual illusions. Now you might be thinking, what's a perceptual illusion? Well, it's a little trick our brain plays on us. It's those moments when our brain interprets the information from our senses in a way that creates a discrepancy, a mismatch between reality and how we perceive it. Let's delve into a couple of simple examples to illustrate this point. You might be familiar with the famous optical illusion of the duck or rabbit. This drawing can be seen as either a rabbit or a duck, depending on how your brain decides to interpret it. It's not that the image is changing, but our perception of it does. And it's not just our eyes that can be fooled. Our ears can be tricked as well. Remember that viral Yanny or Laurel sound clip that had everyone debating? Some people heard Yanny, while others heard Laurel. The same sound clip, but perceived differently based on how our brains interpreted the frequencies. These instances of perceptual illusions show us that our senses are not just passive receivers of information. They actively interpret and make sense of the world around us. This interpretation is based on a variety of factors, including our past experiences, expectations, and even our current mood. So what does this tell us about reality? Well, it certainly makes us question our understanding of it. If our senses can be fooled and our perception can be swayed, then what is reality? Is it what we perceive it to be, or is it something more, something beyond our sensory comprehension? So, as we can see, our senses can sometimes play tricks on us, making us question what is real and what is not. Now you may be wondering, why do these perceptual illusions occur? Well, it's all down to the fascinating and complex workings of our brains. You see, our brain is constantly receiving and processing a barrage of information from our senses, everything from sights and sounds to tastes and touches. But here's the catch. Our brain doesn't just accept this information at face value. No, it's far too clever for that. Instead, it uses a variety of factors to interpret this sensory data and form our perception of reality. These factors can include context, our expectations, and even our past experiences. For example, consider a simple line drawing of a box. If you've ever seen a box before, your brain will likely interpret the drawing as a three-dimensional box, even though it's actually just a two-dimensional image. That's your brain using context and past experiences to make sense of the information it's receiving. Now, perceptual illusions occur when our brain makes what we might call best guesses about what it's perceiving based on this information. It takes all the sensory data it's receiving, combines it with what it knows from past experiences, and makes a prediction about what it thinks it's seeing. But sometimes these best guesses can lead to some pretty strange perceptions. Take the famous Rubin's vase illusion, for instance. Is it a vase, or is it two faces looking at each other? Your brain can see it both ways, but it can only perceive one interpretation at a time. That's a perceptual illusion in action. So, perceptual illusions are not really mistakes, but rather our brain's way of making sense of the world. They highlight the fact that our perception of reality is not just a passive reception of sensory data, but an active interpretation of that data. And that, my friends, is the science behind perceptual illusions. So, what does the existence of perceptual illusions mean for our understanding of reality? This question takes us deep into the fascinating world of our mind and its interpretation of the world around us. Perceptual illusions have significant implications, challenging the long-held belief that our senses provide us with a direct and accurate representation of the world. Instead, they suggest that our perception is a complex process involving the brain's interpretation of sensory information, rather than a simple reflection of objective reality. Think about it. When we encounter a perceptual illusion, we experience something that contradicts our understanding of how the world works. This discrepancy prompts us to question the reliability of our senses, leading us to realize that our perception of reality is not always accurate. This realization is not a cause for alarm, but rather an invitation to marvel at the complexity and adaptability of our brain. Our brain is not a passive receiver of information, but an active processor that constructs our perception of the world based on a combination of sensory inputs and prior knowledge. Understanding perceptual illusions helps us appreciate this incredible feat of mental processing. It highlights how our brain can adapt to changes in our environment, using past experiences to make sense of new information. This adaptability allows us to navigate the world effectively, even when our sensory input is ambiguous or misleading. Moreover, perceptual illusions offer valuable insights into the workings of our brain, aiding researchers in fields as diverse as psychology, neuroscience, and artificial intelligence. By studying how and why these illusions occur, scientists can gain a deeper understanding of the brain's processing mechanisms, potentially leading to breakthroughs in treating neurological disorders or developing more sophisticated AI systems. Perceptual illusions, therefore, remind us that our perception of the world is a construction of the brain, not a direct reflection of reality. So, next time you encounter an illusion, rather than dismissing it as a trick of the mind, appreciate it as a testament to the remarkable complexity of our brain and its role in shaping our perception of reality. So, should we trust our senses, you may ask? Well, the journey of understanding perceptual illusions brings us to a fascinating conclusion. Embrace the illusion. Let's consider this for a moment. While our senses may sometimes present a distorted version of reality, they are still our primary tools for understanding and interacting with the world around us. Yes, they might not always provide a perfect representation of reality, but they do offer an incredibly effective way for us to navigate our way through life. Think about it. If you didn't trust your senses, would you be able to cross a busy street? Would you be able to savor the taste of your favorite meal? Or know when to pull your hand away from a hot surface? Our senses, even with their occasional flaws, are essential to our survival and our experience of life. It's like we're all artists, and our senses are our paintbrushes. They might not always create a picture-perfect representation of the world, but they still allow us to create a vivid, colorful, and meaningful interpretation of our surroundings. In essence, our senses provide us with a unique and personal version of reality, one that is tailored specifically to us. This is a concept that's both humbling and empowering. It's humbling because it reminds us of our limitations, and it's empowering because it highlights our ability to adapt and thrive despite these limitations. So, should we trust our senses? Absolutely. They may not always be foolproof, but they are remarkably reliable in helping us to navigate our lives. They enable us to adapt, to learn, and to experience the world in our own unique way. So, let's embrace the illusion. Let's celebrate the remarkable, albeit slightly flawed, tools that allow us to interact with and understand the world around us. So, while our senses might not always get it right, they still provide us with a pretty amazing way to experience the world. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content.